In the shadowed valleys of Persia, beneath the watchful eyes of caliphs and sultans, a fire stirs. They call it the Iranian Intermezzo, an age of chaos, of broken thrones and shattered legacies. But to us, it is a pause before the reckoning. Publicly we bow, we pray, we whisper peace in the ears of our occupiers. But behind closed doors, we remember the old ways. From a lowly count, the last ember of the fallen Sassanid Dynasty, we will reclaim a lost empire. We will restore Persia and purge it of its false faiths and foreign kings. This is no mere campaign. This is a holy mission. This is the beginning of the Iranian Resurgence. Welcome to episode 1 of this brand new Crusader Kings 3 series. Today we are starting as Mazandaran, which is just north of where the colossal Abbasid Empire starts in the earliest timestamp of this game, 867 AD. Now, there are lots of things that are going to make this run very interesting indeed. The first one is the fact that we're going to be interacting with lots of new mechanics, primarily since we are involved in the Iranian Intermezzo. Now, the Iranian Intermezzo has similar mechanics to that of the Iberian Struggle, but it does have its key differences. We'll dive into some of the specifics of what this means to us and how it impacts our gameplay in just a moment, but that's just one reason why this run is going to be different than the rest. The other is the fact that we are not feudal or admin. Instead, we are clan. This means we have the ability to create cadet branches, we can use tax jurisdictions, and we can appoint viziers. On top of that, in this government form, the amount of levies and taxes given to a liege by their vassals is determined by the aptitude of said liege's tax collector, and clans can also make use of house unity. Now, there are lots of different effects based upon what your house unity level is. Some of the most important ones, though, is the fact that your house succession law is based upon your house unity. So, for example, at the top, during harmonious succession, your player heir opinion and vassals have strong opinions of you, and your player heir is guaranteed to receive a certain portion of your titles, while the rest are divided between your remaining children. If we compare that to when the house unity is in the antagonistic stage, instead your house opinion goes down, the vassal opinions become quite mixed, and your titles become equally divided between your children. Again, we'll dive into the specifics of this as we get into the run, but I just want to demonstrate the fact that we have lots of new mechanics on the go here. So knowing all that, what is our situation? We start over here as Vali Rostam Karen Zaid. Please forgive me for my pronunciations of places and people. They're going to be all over the shop here. Unifying all of Persia is a noble goal in and of itself, but it's actually not our only goal. Publicly, we are a Muslim ruler, much like most of the rulers around us. However, in private, we actually practice a Zoroastrian faith. A Zoroastrian seeks the path of truth through good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Now, Zoroastrianism as a faith, and our form of it, which is Mazdayasna, is actually alive and well, particularly in the eastern part of what would be the Persian Empire. But of course, at the moment, the men ruling these lands are Ash'ari Muslims. It is for this reason that our goal is not only to unite all of Persia, but to have an Iranian resurgence and end the Iranian Intermezzo through this decision. The Iranian Resurgence ending focuses on restoring the dignity of Iran and reclaiming the glory of old. We are going a step further and reclaiming the religion of old, with our ultimate goal to be reforming the Persian Empire as a Zoroastrian realm. Now, this obviously is going to add to the challenge, because not only do we have to end the Iranian Intermezzo, but we also want to make sure that the Persia we create becomes fully Zoroastrian. All the while, we have to make sure that nobody actually finds out our secret of being a Zoroastrian ruler. Now, in order for us to end the Iranian Resurgence, there are, of course, some requirements that need to be met. Firstly, we need to at least be a king or higher, and we have to control at least 30% of the Persian Empire. So those are really going to be our first two goals. Become a king or higher and expand out our realm to be 30% of the empire. Now, we'll focus on some of those other ones later. The first goal is to actually become a king and expand out our realm. Now, that usually wouldn't be incredibly difficult, but the problem, if we zoom out, is that we are surrounded by one empire and two other kingdoms. Our de jure kingdom title is Dalem, which we could go for, but that would lead us to war with both the Tahirids over here as well as the Abbasid Empire themselves. The good news is that inside the Iranian Intermezzo, things are rather chaotic, and there should at different points be moments of opportunity where we can actually strike out against these empires. But of course, our primary goal in the beginning is just to actually survive. The one advantage we do have in that regard, though, is our illustrious regalia, the Sasanian sword. This is an incredible artifact to start with, giving us prestige, renown, more knights and knight effectiveness, attraction opinion, and powerful vassal counselor tax contribution. Let's straight away equip this and make sure that we are getting those bonuses. We will then also need to choose a lifestyle focus. We will of course continue down the martial tree here. As a matter of fact, I actually am going to just take strategy here and give us just +3 martial off the bat. In terms of our starting military, it's not huge. We have 745 men composed of 400 levies and about 300 Zupan spearmen. We'll of course need to work on this. It is nice though that we do have some unique men-at-arms to this region and culture, such as camel riders, which would be very, very nice, particularly in this terrain. The other important thing to note though is that we are not independent. We do actually have a liege here. Our liege here is Emir Hassan of the Zaydid Emirate, who is also in a precarious position bordering the Abbasids, the Saffarids, and the Tahirids. In terms of who we are diligent, just, cynical, a skilled tactician, a raider, as well as being a detractor of the Caliphate, which is unique to those rulers inside the Iranian Intermezzo. This gives us the ability to foment revolt within other actual realms. We can also request incursions from neighboring Turkic heritage rulers. We have the decision to search for a new faith. We have a increased opinion with other detractors, and obviously a negative opinion with supporters of caliphal authority. We are 21 years old, in fine health. We have a 17-year-old wife and 1 son. We also have a brother who is not a ruler, but is actually publicly Zoroastrian. The very first thing I'm going to do, of course, is actually educate my own child. When he is 3 years old, we'll actually get a sense of what his traits are, and we can start to actually educate him accordingly. The big reason why I want to educate him, though, is I want to make sure that he doesn't actually stay Muslim either. When he is old enough, I want to teach him about the Zoroastrian ways and make sure that he follows that faith in secret as well. In terms of our initial plays, we could, of course, at any time declare war for our independence, but that may still leave us rather weak. What we could do as well is actually claim our liege's title. It would be a hell of a lot of prestige, but we could attempt to do this. Now, the first thing that I would like to do is marry off my brother here, because it will give us an alliance. The alliance that I actually quite like here is this one. It does give us an alliance with the Shadid Emirate. These are actually located inside of the Abbasid Empire, but he is not too happy with them. Much like myself, he is a detractor of the Caliphate and has a -100 opinion of his liege. We'll pick up this alliance for another 1,000 men, just in case we get declared on early. We'll have some men to back us up. Inside of our actual capital here in Farim, we do have a unique building, Mount Damavand here, which does give stationed men-at-arms toughness, as well as increasing our development growth and levy size in mountains. It also gives us +10% to stress loss and makes mountains less dangerous for us. We do also hold a mool over here, which currently just has bastions and curtain walls, nothing else built inside it. Also important to note that, interestingly, our 2 counties at the moment actually have the Afrodunism faith, which is actually a form of Zoroastrianism, but it's not the same as our one. So we are going to be in a somewhat unique position of the people of our realm considering us to be of a hostile faith, even though secretly we're probably a lot more alike than they think. What I am going to do is I'm going to start off immediately by fabricating a claim on my fellow vassal over here, who just controls one county. We'll see if we can pick him up as well. He may pick up some interesting alliances before we have a chance to declare on him, but we'll start actually fabricating just in case. Now, less than a month into our rule here, our father has unfortunately died of cancer. We have picked up some stress. It does also mean that we do need a new tax collector, however. We do have a Skander here who is average. We'll put him in for now, but ideally we would like some better ones. How much is it to search for a tax collector? 15 gold and 100 piety. That is all of our piety at the moment, but it is probably worth it to get some good characters inside of our court. Now, Assad here has arrived. Hopefully you are better than average. Are you? Yeah, you're good. Okay, we'll take that. It doesn't matter an insane amount at the moment. Obviously, we just have actually one vassal who is holding a city inside of one of our counties, not really giving us much at all, but we are still very small, and at this stage, every little helps. Assad has just been given the job, and already he's saying, I cannot do this. These tax law treatises are too old, too vague, too disorganized. How am I ever meant to find anything here? My friend, you only have one man paying you tax. How complex can this be? Now, I could tell him to do his work or I'll have him flogged. He will have a critical stress break and lose some opinion of us, but it will increase his stewardship by 1. Now, we are diligent, which does mean that we have a decrease in opinion of lazy characters, and to be honest, I think we consider this to be pretty lazy, so we're going to say do your work or I'll have you flogged. We've been appointed Master of the Horse from our liege here. Thank you very much for that. And it looks like our liege has also gone to war for this county up here, which does make sense. Actually a tributary war, which is interesting. And it's immediately invalidated. He declared war and then immediately died, and his son has taken over instead. The more time I spend with my steward Assad, the more his overwhelming stress becomes apparent. The daily woes of life have become agonizing to me, Assad bemoans. Every day I pray for some deliverance from my inescapable fate. Now, I could attempt to try and actually give him a secret faith as well and secretly convert him to Zoroastrianism. I would love to do this, but there's a very low chance and a much higher percentage chance that he'll actually lose some opinion of us. I think we'll comfort him for now. Obviously, the more people we can secretly convert, the better, but we certainly do not want to out ourselves for being an actual Zoroastrian. The man that we are fabricating on has discovered what we are doing. He's asked us to stop. We are not going to stop, though. He's going to lose some opinion of us, but my friend, it has to be done. We have a letter from our liege here. To my miserable vassal, I have come to the inexorable conclusion that you are truly the best candidate I have for my open council position. Though it pains me to do so, I am unfortunately obligated to offer you the position of Marshal of Zaydid. Thank you very much. We'll accept anyway. I cannot work like this, my tax collector Assad exclaims. Assad, you have the easiest job in the realm. You have to look after like one man. He wants me to kick Gobad here out of my court. Now, Gobad has 18 martial. I'd prefer not to, but I don't think I'd say do I seem made of money because I am diligent. So we will kick Gobad out for now. We can always find more knights if needed. Meanwhile, a ruler in the making. Our son Shervin here has gained the trait Bossy. Tremendous. He is also now 3 years old, so we will immediately start him down a martial education as well. Now, incredibly, on our first try of fabricating a claim here, we've not only got a claim on the county, but also we could, if we wanted, get a claim on the entire duchy. Now, the duchy has grown in size quite a bit. We did manage to lock in our alliance, however, so we do have about another 1,500 troops behind us, so we could possibly make this work. The issue, though, is it would put us over 100 gold in debt, and we are only really making 2.8 a month, so we would be in debt for a significantly long time. The issue with that is, even if I was willing to go into debt and took the claim for the duchy, if he picks up an alliance, then I can't go to war anyway, and there's a high chance he will pick up an alliance because it'll take me so long to get out of debt. So for now, just give me the actual county and we'll go from there. Here we go, first battle, and we are of course going to lead from the front here. It's not going good, it's not going good. We've gained the trait wounded and we're actually going to lose this first battle. That's okay though, that's okay. I still have faith. We're only wounded. I think if we can actually just regroup, we should be fine. Now, I've been regrouping in my capital. It looks like he's actually going to make a move towards us, which is perfect. It looks like the reason we lost last time was because of the river crossing and we were attacking into mountains. But this time it's looking a lot healthier. Oh, there we go. We captured him as well. Immediate 100%. Thank you very much. Now, there we go. That was a little bit embarrassing to lose the first battle of this run, but you've got to be fair to me. I've been too used to playing as the Roman Empire in our other series where I just barely have to look at wars, so I actually have to consider river crossings and mountains again. Thankfully, we can control this directly inside of our domain holding, so I will improve the control over there for now. Finally, Assad is actually doing his job. He has come to us with a report saying that one of our vassals has actually been stealing from us. Now, we could say steal from me, nail him to a cross. This would mean that the county we've just taken would get locals infuriated, control decline, and minus 30 popular opinion, but it would give us 150 gold. I think we need to send a message here. We can deal with the control decline. We're trying to improve control over there anyway. I'm then going to use that gold to build some cattle pastures in the capital here for some more tax and levies. Going to be a super slow build up. I want to just build up the economy a little bit so we can try and actually get another set of men at arms out so that we have a better chance against our liege, because up next we'll certainly be going for this emirate. Now, unfortunately, mercenaries have been causing a ruckus at the local tavern. We can offer to pay their drinks and get generosity to mercenaries, making them cheaper to hire. It is 75 gold though. If I have my soldiers throw them out, because I am just, it's going to give us a mental break, but the county would get expunged bandits. As always, I do like playing the character as much as I possibly can, and since this would give us a mental break because we are just, we will instead pay for their drinks at once. This will put us into debt, but only by 32. It's going to be a bit annoying, but we should get out of this eventually. Now, big news to the right of us here. The Sassanid Kingdom is after taking a big chunk out of the Taharids here. Almost all of this land here has been lost. Now, we still border the Taharid Empire, but just about, but we are closing in on being fully surrounded by a kingdom and a massive empire. We've had a daughter who's been born here, Farnaz. She is spindly, which is unfortunate to see, but welcome to the family nonetheless. Now, we've also managed to pick up the trait Flexible Leader here through our martial focus, which is fantastic to see. Now, interestingly, something that we could do at this point is actually do a claim throne scheme on our liege. The issue with that, though, is that because we are just, it is going to give us a critical stress break. This is not the way in which we want to actually gain the throne. Instead, we may actually have to wait until we get the prestige we need to just actually claim the liege's title directly. And we've already picked up some interesting traits inside of the martial focus here. We've gone for Parthian tactics for cavalry bonuses, because I think the next men at arms that we'll go for will be camel riders. Strict organization to help with county control gain, and chivalric dominance for the knight effectiveness. Now, we could stay in this tree. Undoubtedly, we have more wars to fight, but I've actually rotated for now into stewardship, and I'm starting with domain focus. The reason for this is that this gives us one more actual domain holding, so we could technically pick up this county over here and actually hold that ourselves as well. I know we also want to build up our prestige to claim the throne of our liege, and diplomacy would help with that, but there's no point getting all the prestige we need to actually claim this title if we still don't have enough men to actually go for it. He now has 2,000 men plus an alliance of close to another 2,000 as well. So even with our alliance at the moment, we're still not strong enough. So I want to first focus on building up our own lands and army, then we'll rotate in to actually getting the prestige that we need to claim the throne. But now that we can hold another title, let's also immediately declare war over here on this other county next to us before somebody bigger, and there's lots of them, actually choose to go for this. They are defending in mountains once again, but I think we have enough men to deal with it this time. Thankfully, we do. The battle is won at the very least. Do we have to siege them down as well? Yes, we do. Only 50%. That's fine though. Honestly, before we even start this siege, since the fort level is too high, I'm going to try and just attack them again and see if we can get the leader. We know he is leading them. Now, we have caught them once again. Please capture the ruler this time. I don't know if we will though. We actually managed to do it. Incredible. Enforce our demands once more. Fool is the spirit, my friend. You're going to hate me, but that's fine. Disband all, And now we are up to, oh, actually 5 out of 4. There was 2 counties over here. Oh no, one of them was a temple holding. That's fine. We can grant this off. Okay, so with that war, we now control 4 counties directly. So we actually somewhat mirror that of our actual liege at this point. So once we can stabilize this land and build out our army, we should be in perfect position to actually take the emirate title itself. Look at this. There's a big battle going down in our realm here. Almost 10,000 Abbasid Empire troops versus about 1,000 left of the Pechenegs. Now, interestingly, it looks like the Abbasids weren't actually attacking the emirate to the south of us here. This war is actually to install loyalist Hamadan. Oh, interesting. The ruler of the emirate is deposed and replaced with a supporter of caliphal authority. That is honestly even worse. Chances are then, as soon as that happens, he'll just agree to be a vassal anyway, so it's the same difference at the end of the day. Oh, now this is interesting. Our liege is coming to us asking us to convert to Zaydism, which is his religion. We are going to decline this, but I have a sneaky suspicion he wants us to decline it, so he has a reason to actually either go to war with us or try and take our land off us. We also now have enough piety that we can actually steer our house unity, so let's absolutely steer it towards being harmonious. So it'll increase yearly for the next 10 years. Incredible. The existence of the murder Shervin scheme is exposed. That's not good at all. Someone's trying to murder my heir. I don't really know whose interest that would be in. Possibly my actual liege. He does hate us at the moment. Now, while we do have one alliance here of the Shadid Emirate that's inside of the Abbasid Empire, the issue with that is that it helps us in our current wars, but if the Abbasids declare war on us, his vassal isn't going to be able to help us. So I would like a different alliance, and I think we can find one through a betrothal with our daughter here. And I actually quite like this one with the Safarid Grand Emirate. 4,000 troops, and he will accept. He is also a detractor of the Caliphate, so that makes sense. We want to stay completely away to anybody who supports the Caliphate because that is not our position at all. This, I think, works tremendously, both in helping us eventually gain the actual duchy that we want, but also will help a lot if the Abbasids decide that they want to declare war on us. Oh my god, the timing of that is incredible. To my loathsome vassal, I have come to the conclusion you cannot be entrusted with the dignity and the responsibility of Mazandaran. I therefore request that you relinquish this title forthwith. There is no way we're going to be handing back our titles here. We will be declining. This will start a war against him. We'll be an open rebellion, and we will be a known criminal to him. But we have to decline this. At least now we can call in our friends here who should be more than enough to help us out. I'm going to raise all of my armies anyway, and then just immediately move in and see if I can actually grab maybe even this small army over here first till our allies show up. Yep, so he has called in his allies, but we still have the troop advantage. It looks like the main army is actually going over to try and siege down the Safarids. He has his 4,000 troops coming north now. That should be tremendous. We'll try and deal with this smaller army over here. Oh, this is horrible timing. We've gained the trait ill. Send for a physician. Also, extremely glad I got this alliance with the Safarids here because our other alliance just expired because Divadad died. Do no more than what's necessary. Reduce disease symptoms. All right, that's good. Now, his allies have shown up, but the good news is that mine have as well. Let's try and siege down the capital here. And if we need to move out and actually deal with the army, we will. A scheme with court. Somebody is trying to murder me as well, because of course they are. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually our liege here. Hey, I have to be honest, I have no idea what the enemy army is doing. Where is he going? All right, we managed to siege down the capital. We got some prisoners as well. Let's push over now and see with my allies if we can actually deal with his army. Thankfully, we've at least lost the trait ill, so I'm not going to just die of illness in the middle of all this, which is fantastic news. Now, it looks like we're actually finally going to catch them here after chasing them the whole way around the realm. Managed to deal with the smaller army. If we can just get the one ruled by the leader, that would be incredible. They do love hiding in the mountains. There we go. With our allies here, we should be absolutely fine. There it is. The battle is dealt with. We're at 91%. It is going to tick in our favor. I'll try and grab one more siege to speed it up. In tremendous news, though, there is a revolt inside of the Abbasid Empire here. Lots of them are actually in revolt. What is this exactly? It is a war of tyranny against the Caliph. 17,000 troops against against 6,000. Looks like the Caliph might be in trouble here. If they win, he is deposed and they go back to autonomous vassals. That is great news, because if they were still nice and strong, now would be the perfect time for them to strike against us. There it is. With the final siege, we are at 100%. We'll enforce our demands here, and similar to the Abbasid situation, he will be deposed. We will go back to autonomous vassals, and he will concede his title revocation and imprisonment reason upon us. So our new liege is now the 6-year-old Emir Shayban here, and he has no allies at the moment. It would be an incredible time to actually have a claim on the duchy here. I mean, a claim throne scheme would truly be incredible. It's 1,500 prestige just to claim it outright, which would take us a hell of a long time. I know we are just, but surely claiming our liege's title now is just, considering he tried to end us. What I am going to do first is I'm going to plan a hunt in my actual realm here. Try and get some recreation in, get our stress down a bit, so at least we don't get a mental break from actually claiming our liege's titles. Alright, what are we going to hunt? Probably not a bear in our first ever outing. The fox is too small though. Assad would actually lose opinion of us for being a timid hunter. So instead we'll go for the antelope. 3 out of 5. Ah, he's coming to his senses. My new liege, the 6-year-old, wants me to be his marshal. We'll accept. We've come across some poachers. Unfortunately, we must punish them. This does give us some more holding taxes, but does reduce popular opinion. That's fine, though. So unfortunately, the hunt has failed. We have left empty-handed. We at least lost some stress, though, and gained the trait Hunter. Also, a decent bit of prestige as well, actually. Okay, here we go. It's time to claim the throne of our liege. This obviously will give us some more stress because we're just, but it makes sense. His father tried to take the land from us. We are the true ruler. I'm going to focus on scheme potential here. Not overly worried about secrecy. If he finds out and wants to go to war with us again, we'll beat him again. Alright, so our scheme is now in place. We have just lost our grace period. It could be discovered at any time, but I want to get this to 89%, and then if we can get 5 advantages, I'm happy to trigger it with just that alone. We have been immediately discovered. God damn it. Okay, that's just one breach. It'll set us back a bit. We still have 4 more, though. I think we'll be okay. So the revolt inside of the Abbasid Empire has been a success. We now have Caliph Abdallah here, who is in control of the now Arabian Empire. 3,000 troops, already at war defending himself. This is great news, though. The fact that he is now this weak is tremendous. Our allies over here, the Sassanids, are doing well. He's still attacking out and expanding, which is great to see. We can keep him an ally while we deal over here with the Arabian Empire and pick up these lands. Well, mainly these ones here, what we need inside the Persian Empire. That would be fantastic. We can then move back across this way and deal with the Sassanids later if need be. But that's still deep in the future. We have been discovered twice in our scheme here to claim the throne. We need this to fire as soon as possible. Oh boy, an agent has been discovered and imprisoned. This is not going well. Okay, we are on 4 out of 5 breaches here. I did get a better Justicar to increase our secrecy, but I'm gonna have to fire this soon. Oh, a curse undone. One of our rivals died. Tremendous news. Okay, here we go. We're only at 70%, but if we get found out again, it's done. Let's execute with confidence and hope for the best. 75% chance. Scheme successful. Incredible. Shayban can complain all he wants. It changes nothing. You get a pressed claim on the Emirate of Tabaristan? Oh, it changed its name. Okay, incredible. So we have the claim now, and we absolutely could declare war. The only issue is our prestige. It's still in the negative from when we had to call in our ally the last time to defend us. We could probably get away with waiting a little bit longer, however, considering that he is still rather weak, no allies, and unless he marries himself off to somebody, is unlikely to get any. But having our liege as our rival, he may just try and revoke our land again or something. You know what? I'm going to do it. It's going to push us deep into the negative when it comes to prestige, but it has to be done. I can deal with the fame hit. Here we go. This is the most important war of the run thus far. Our ally is in. We'll give him some time to join. I'm going to try and siege down the capital quickly. Maybe he will just try and go and siege us down, which is perfectly fine. It gives our ally more time to come and meet us. However, something I should have checked before is our ally is currently already involved in a war. Now, he is winning, but I want him to finish this quickly so he can come and help us. He only has 3 troops left. Just end this. The only good thing here is that because our liege is still a child, technically he should still be in the capital. There's a chance when we siege the capital, we will get a hold of him. And we actually did. We just sieged down the capital. He is immediately our prisoner and we can immediately enforce our demands here. This is incredible news. We now hold the Bavandid Shahdom, or the Shahdom of Tabaristan, which is fantastic to see. Obviously, an issue is that this boy here still lives as our vassal and rival. We will need to deal with him somehow. I don't know just how yet, but we're certainly going to have to take care of him and ideally give each of these lands here out to individual vassals so we remain the strongest force inside of this new Shahdom. Bit of a waste of the prestige calling in the Saffarids. We didn't even need them in the end, but fantastic news already for the beginning of the Sassanid Restoration. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoy, please don't forget to like and subscribe, comment any ideas or suggestions down below. Massive shout out to all of our channel members helping to support the channel and everything that I do here. And of course, a very special shout out to our Emperor's Hands tier, Faustbread, Spencer Roberts, Batch Plays, and Wyatt Laird. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.